everyone, it's Adaptive Goddess, and today I'm going to be talking about how I dealt with the workplace. So I got my first job when I was about 17, and I got it as a lifeguard and swim instructor. I was an amazing swimmer growing up, so being able to pass my lifeguarding certification was on the easier side of any certification I ever got. And I knew enough about swimming to be able to teach swimming lessons. As I got older, I went off to college, but I still returned back to that lifeguarding and swim instructor job when I would come back from school during winter and summer breaks. After I graduated, I was given an opportunity at this job to create a program where I taught swimming lessons to kids with special needs. As this program grew, I took a step back from lifeguarding and just pursued the swim instructing component of this. Unfortunately, this class only took place on Saturdays, so I had to find another job so that I could have a decent income. And I found a job as a before and after care assistant teacher at my local elementary school. It was a really good job, and I loved interacting with the kids. It was actually a 2-school-in-1, so there was so many kids to interact with. And the second school was actually made for kids who were neurodiverse, but not a lot of them had an official diagnosis. As I excelled as an after-school teacher for the before and after-school program, I was given the opportunity to become a lead teacher for that program at the school where I absolutely loved how they were teaching. So the school that was set up for neurodiverse kids without having anyone really be diagnosed, because they were getting their own building. And I got the job because I was very eloquent in my interview. I had brought up that I had known these kids. I brought up that I would change a few things, that I would communicate with the school a lot more than what the lead teacher was doing, and it seemed like they liked my ideas. So the first year was amazing. I had a very supportive and partner in my assistant. The principal was super knowledgeable, understood my ideas and where I was coming from, and was beyond supportive. The entire staff understood what my mission was to help these kids. They understood and totally got my vibe. Even one of the teachers, when I was announced to the school as being the lead teacher, said, "Oh, goody, I hoped it was her." Even the resource teacher was so fantastic. She even let me use her room as they were still building our before and after school space. As time went on, I still loved where I was working. I loved the staff and the principal and the kids. It was beyond supportive and totally my scene. Unfortunately, the director of the before and after school program for the school district changed. And this new director didn't really get where I was coming from. So I had got pop-up tents from IKEA so that kids could have a quiet space where if they needed a minute, they can say, "Hey, I need a pop-up tent." They could put it anywhere in our room and in our space and just basically tell every kid, "Please don't talk to me right now. I'm dealing with something." Typically, the kids would put it up by the heater because it was warm, and I would always have the heater on because the space was cold. And that's typically just where they would be. And this director thought that I was punishing the kids. And I had gone through and made sure everything was compliant with the special education director, that I was really making sure that I was helping these kids and not in any way hurting them. Because I had gone through having wonderful teachers and having teachers that really affected my school life. And so I wanted to be one of the helpful teachers and a helpful adult in their life, not one that hindered them. So my disappointment with my job came to a head when they started cutting my assistant's hours. They would not give me an assistant in the morning. So I was dealing with a lot of kids who had behaviors like running away and non-compliance and aggression towards me. And I was in a space that I couldn't actually adequately deal with them and help them, that I knew how to help them. And I had to call on the teachers and the assistant principal and the principal and the counselor and the resource teacher at like 7:30 in the morning to be like, I need help. And of course, they would come and they would help me, and they were super amazing. And I'm so grateful for each and every one of them. If the principal of that school was my boss, I would still be there. My problem wasn't with the kids and wasn't with the school I was at. My problem was with the director and management of the program, because they didn't seem to understand or even acknowledge my expertise in helping kids who were neurodiverse. They thought they knew better. They thought it was their way was the best way. And I, of course, am a very out of the box thinker and always think of new ideas to help these kids. And they didn't really like that. So I was stuck, because I did love my location and I loved the kids I worked with, but I didn't like my management of my program. And I was getting very confused and frustrated, and I didn't really know how to handle it. And it came out with a lot of meltdowns and tantrums and panic attacks at home. And it was hard for me to figure out where I needed to go. While this was happening at the school district job, my job with the program of teaching swimming lessons was getting rocky too. The management at the place I was working told me I had to change and drastically change the program I was running, which was so unique, because I was not only teaching swimming skills, I was teaching social skills too, so that they could move on to mainstream lessons. I was told that my program I was running, that was my pride and joy in my professional life at the time, was supposed to make money. And they started giving me more responsibility, to the point that I became a program coordinator for any and all programs that dealt with neurodiversity. And I thought that was going to take me somewhere, until I was told by the overall parent company that what I was doing, helping kids who are neurodiverse, giving them an outlet, giving them social skills, giving them swimming skills, giving them sports, was not a priority. So I had to make a huge shift if I wanted to continue loving what I did, which was helping kids and teens. So I put myself out there. And I hadn't done that in 5 years. And I just had a bachelor's degree, and I wasn't really sure if people would want me. But I applied anyway, and I applied to a phenomenal place that had outpatient and residential treatments and was the gold standard in the state that I'm living in. And I thought, there's no way that they're gonna want me. But I applied to a very similar position in the overall parent company where I was teaching swimming lessons, with a very similar job of helping children and teens with their mental diagnosis, helping them find treatment, helping them make sure that they're successful in life. And this other job was training staff, which I really like doing. I like telling my story, and I like helping people help kids who are neurodiverse, so that it's not just me who's changing their lives, but every adult in their life. And the one job with the parent company looked really promising. I had a phone interview, and they were super, super excited for me. That's as far as it went. But at the job at this gold standard clinic, I thought, no way. Not only did I get a phone interview, I got an in-person interview. And then not only that, they gave me a job offer. And they let me pick in which inpatient residential treatment I was going to work in. And I hands down immediately said, I'm going to work with the teenagers. And I still work there to this day. And they have 100% opened their arms to me. And they listen to my ideas. They let me feel validated. They let me express my story to help kids learn from it. And to this day, I'm one of their autism consultants within their facility that help make sure that kids with autism have a voice in treatment and a voice in how this place is structured. So without taking that risk, without moving from a place that didn't respect me and didn't listen to insight that I provided, I found this new place that listened, that let me provide insight, that totally gave me direction and so much joy and so much of a springboard to spring ahead in whatever I want to do now with my life. Whether it's I go off and get a master's degree, or if I go off to a new clinic, they gave me a springboard. The other two places would have just left me in the mud. So leave a comment down below. What is your dream job? For me, when I was growing up, I wanted a detective agency that would solve any case for $25 plus expenses. That's it for the video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and gently tap that like button. And remember to be kind, compassionate, and true to you.